mind. There's a lot of birds around.
That seems fine to me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So since last week, I wanted to finish up with the integration tests and the unit tests for the PMA, and then I just had a bunch of time I spent reviewing other code, like Pop Rox's code. So I've done barely anything since we last left off on the bringing mink into Aries. But I
Okay.
had another thing which I thought we could do today, which was kind of like going back to patient zero of the first time we paired. I was wondering if you want to take a look at the Vitals connectivity app, because there's that misreporting of the sponsor no hit state, and also it's using high instead of ping. There's like a lot of small things that are interesting to do there, I think.
Yeah, let me think. So it may be useful to look at that for a little bit. But I do want to dive into Aries stuff because I want to get myself like running on that faster, basically.
Mhm.
I'd be happy to just like pick up the virtualization stuff basically where we left off last time and just continue with that.
So
Or
I feel like it'd be faster because there's not that much to do on it that really warrants two people on it. I feel like it'd be faster for me to just dive on it then.
so
Like,
what do you mean to
do you have
dive on
another? Like, I could just keep going on my. I'm not sure if it's like warrants like a pair thing because we're not really discussing. Too. There's a lot of like rote stuff to do.
Yeah, I honestly I think pair programming is perfectly fine for rote stuff as well. Like for me, you get benefits from pair programming at kind of all stages of it, from everything from very early stuff where it's, mostly actually discussion to later stuff where it's implementation, even to like actually just testing. Because like from my perspective, basically, it's impossible for me to really understand how the project uh, is progressing and what parts are interfering with that or whatever without really getting in the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't see any problem with working on stuff, even if it is kind of rote. But I'm also happy to look at the vital stuff for a little bit in the beginning here if you want.
No, it's fine. Then we can stick to Aries. I think the goal is for both of us to get something that we want to get out of this. So we should probably stick that. Okay. Did you want to hop into that, or did you want to? Um, I'm just thinking through options we have various. We can just keep going with that. We could go over the tests that I wrote. Did you want to, if you want to do like a pair programming like PR review? That's another option. I'm just trying to think of what our options
Yeah,
are.
that's definitely a good option as well. I'm happy to do either of those. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, let's start with one, and we can just hop into the other if we need to.
Sounds good.
Do you know if there's a good way for us to like program in the same terminal? Like, I think the ideal case would be something like REPL, but it's not really
Uh, I mean,
REPLit or whatever.
both SSH in the same server and use Screen. There are some services that let you do this that have like Vim plugins and plugins for a bunch of other apps. I don't remember any of the names right now. Trying to think if there's any better options. I think it's usually fine to just have one person driving.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to
In
do
that
peer
case,
review or
let's Let's start with.
Sorry, I heard in that case.
Let's pick up from
Go
where we
ahead.
left off in that case, and you can drive
Okay.
again, and then some lag.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's see.
So
Let
is it
me open
that
it.
same that same
Yeah, just pick up from your branch.
branch? Yeah. Okay. Let me arrange my setup. I think I still have the files.
Do I have it called Phil? It was Phil work in progress, I think. Yes.
It's a little bigger, probably. Is this a good size or bigger?
That one's good. The one that was just a little smaller than that was good too. Yeah, that
Okay.
one's still good. You can make it even smaller, I think. I'd still see it quite well. Yeah, that's still fine.
This
It's
this
probably
one
a little
here,
bit though. Yeah.
or is this
Oh,
pushing it?
that one becomes a little bit too small.
Okay, this one.
Yeah, that one's good.
Okay. Then, this is what I had. Uh,
Oh,
so this is right. Just to remind myself what we were writing before. Right, we were making interpret produce not a noun, but a result of either noun or knock error. Um, and so we said, okay, let virtual frame equals stack pointer. Right, we say the virtual frame. That push formula thing is not, is it not quite correct anymore? I'm not sure. We run the whole thing. If the result is okay, then it's okay. Otherwise, we early exit. Right. So where early exit, let's keep popping until you reach the virtual frame that we were at. Your next a long jump that at some point, but it doesn't matter that much. Okay, push, and then yeah, we change all the places that we were making, or that we were panicking and turn them into explicit errors unless they're actually a panic, like in one or two places. Okay, and then jets, we make jets take in a an optional newt because mink jet needs that. And we say, okay, interpret if it's an error, produce the error, otherwise produce the result. Okay, there's a few things that we're like missing that are relatively rote, but I'm trying to think if is there anything to get to before that, or we just start doing the rote stuff and it'll lead us to anything else we
sorry to go with the road stuff. I was just busy trying to also quickly reacquaint with the code myself and get my work environment to be easy to jump between what we're doing and on the screen and on my end.
Mhm.
Just so I can keep it mostly up to date. So if we start like running cargo tests or whatever, we can get the same error in the same place.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's always nice to have it up, be able to look stuff quickly. Okay, I think this is all right. Here's a few notes we had. Can we use the stack like this? We think the answer is yes. Uh, interpret should accept optional scribe function. Oh, right. Potentially produce blocked. For the moment, we can probably just ignore that, but like it, we should do that. We'll just mark it as a to do. We'll do with trace if it's on the stack. could probably ignore the trace also right now and get this to the point where it runs maybe, and then add everything else onto a running system. I think that's probably doable.
Yeah, I think that's right. And 100. Actually, I'll let you keep driving. Where should we start? Actually, if I run it? What's the error? Let's take a look at that.
I'm kind of inclined to just run through compiler errors basically until until we have something that runs. The one thing I'll do ahead of time is that I know that the jets are going to need like the interface to change slightly. So the
Oh yes,
are going to need to change.
Yes, that's right.
Other small areas. So
math.rs.
cells look like this now. So each one of these, I can probably, let's see.
You're just adding Newt to all the jet interfaces?
Yeah. Is I think it's that. Oops. Oh no. Pam is it's that right? It's that. That was correct.
Oops.
Okay. Then should be able to build it inside of mix, right? It's just here.
What about it? I've just been doing cargo build, cargo clippy, cargo whatever. I think you have to be Rust Aries. No, Aries Rust Aries.
Yeah, I forget. I think I something inside of Nix, if I remember right. It must be what you mean. Cargo build, for example. Or yeah, there we go. Okay. So it probably works on the bottom as well, but let's see. Source interpreter 77. When you have a pointer, you have to say mud or const apparently. Okay, should be const.
Virtual frame.
Yeah, virtual frame is a const. 5. They do that like over and over. It also work this from the end, so I don't have to keep scrolling up. Ambiguous associated type. Help use fully qualified syntax ham noun as trait. Oh yeah, the new there is not correct. Here we go. It's this.
Sorry, what was the error? I was alt tab for a second.
Early exit had new on the end of it, which is not correct. Just new the type.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I think it's in search only stuff. It's an interpreter for now. No, somebody's okay. Maybe if I do this, it would be easier to get stuff on the top. What? It must be it must be with the std there. Okay.
None of the newts are found. I need to import newt.
In where?
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at the bottom one. All the jets, map jets, are complaining that they don't have newt defined.
They don't have mute defined.
Like the object type. So we need to import use crate
mute.
full
Gotcha.
call newt.
Okay. Okay. Oh, apparently virtual is a reserved keyword as well. So we'll solve that one. Mute is where it is. Yeah. If virtual is a reserved keyword, then we could just say mink to mean virtualization in general, and we'll also have mule and stuff in here. That might be confusing, but
or maybe mink for now, and then just we can change it to something else. But like mule. I think people generally know that mule, mink, whatever are the virtualization stuff.
Yeah. We'll call it mink.
Let me rename this as well. Math mink. And then here. There's a lot fewer. Find something. Okay. Mismatch types. Push formula. Expected noun found. Yeah. Okay. So 294 in interpreter. So, all right, because Nock9 uses slot as well, but we changed slot to produce a result, which we care about. So it's what it's like axis equals this. But technically, you could probably do it inline, but I think it's fine to do this. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Expected result found integer. It's inside. It's inside. It's recursive, right? It was in. Is that also an interpreter? Oh no, it's in mem.
No, that's it. It's interpreter. The one that I'm looking at is saying that cursor is not. That's it. It's saying that cursor is probably not an integer, which is weird.
5, 5, 6, 7. Cursor equals 0.
Let mut cursor equals if. Oh, yeah, that is incorrect. If
Okay,
less
oh, I see.
equals less, then it's x. Otherwise, just like early return error. Right?
Right.
You can do that kind of early return in the middle of something. Okay, D is not in interpreter, so that will probably reduce our errors quite a bit. D is what's the word? Math. Here, which yeah.
Where's the out? There it is. Yeah.
This side. All right, so use virtual in jets. We can fix that. Error should not interpreter. Jets. Yes. Sorry. Jets. Let's go. It probably has to be qualified, right? If I can compare like that.
All the errors need to be qualified.
Yeah, but there should be a way to make it enough qualified, but also it's not a terrible idea to qualify it because it's such a generic word.
Right, actually. Could you take a look at your line 134?
On interpreter?
Yeah. For some reason, when I try to compile, it's giving me an error at that line, complaining that something about the closing braces.
I had to add a parentheses here.
Oh, I see. That's what it is. Yeah, and then there should be Nock error. Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. All right. I'm where you are.
17 more.
Do you remember the count you had of how many errors you had?
I have 17 right now.
Okay. At 25, but I haven't qualified as many Nock errors as you have.
Yeah, there was like 10 of them there, or 9 or something like that. Because I did all of those in interpreter at least. Okay, match tone is type. This expression is type. No expected unit type. No found that. So confused about tone. That tone equals this. Suppose. Yeah. Oh wait, I have a bunch of early returns. They're not correct. It's you can use like break with an argument. Is that right? I think.
Early returns are not correct. Is that how what you do, or do you?
So in interpret, we say do all this stuff and then assign that to a variable, and so that we can decide whether we want to run early exit.
Mhm.
But the problem is that number one, it thinks that, like the error it's giving is might be null because we need something like this. I don't know what this will be. I don't know if we have state already or what, but also these returns are going to return out of the whole function, which is not what we want because it won't run the early exit. It won't actually run the stack. I think we can just run break there for the which is like early return, but is not. Break gets you out of the match. What we want to do is break out of the loop. There's a way to do that in Rust, I'm pretty sure. Break out of nested loop. You can give these labels.
Okay, so now I see what you're describing. Oh, I understand, I should say.
It's like this, I think, or outer loop, and then you can do break outer, so that like this break. I don't know why this break. Oh yeah. So that stuff where we're like we're done. Did anything else break? Why? Wait, sorry. Okay, why does done break? Oh, because done is that you're actually done. So never mind. You don't break out of matches. This is C. Okay, break is only here, right? Okay, so break is when you're actually done. So I think all we need to do is these ones that say return should be
actually do
break. I think that's valid. Let's break with value. Yeah, you can do that. So that should.
All these returns should be breaks instead. You can break with values.
Yes, you can break the values from loops when you're using it. You're using the whole loop as a value. Just still interpret and not push formula, right? Yeah. And then if it got to the end, which it never should, but if it did, or no, sorry, it should get to the end and loop. And it's actually just that this case where it breaks. Hopefully it's smart enough to figure this one out. It should say okay, res. I think that's correct, and hopefully it's smart enough to figure out all the things that town could be. And we have fewer errors than before, so that's good. Word interpreter, let's see. This type allows me only use with an FN trait. Oh, yeah. The thing for that is not the trim type for that should have brackets, angle brackets, and not parentheses. Okay, so a few more in interpreter.
Sorry, what was the one you just fixed? I just caught up.
The definition of push formula, the return type for that has parentheses, like as result with parentheses, which it should not. It should be angle brackets.
Where do we?
In the definition of push formula.
Where is that?
Around
something right. Which file?
Interpreter. Yeah, interpreter around 380.
Sorry, what number?
380.
380?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. 30. Result. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it. Double check. How many errors do you have right now?
12.
And I have 13. All right. Well, that's close enough. We'll find them there.
We'll find what the last one is. Okay, 675 is my next error. It's a matched prehend, and it says Nock res, right? Basically, we use the interpret function inside of the freehand, where right, this is where we're in test mode, and we're saying we want to run this by Nock and by the jet and compare them. And so what we actually want to do here is say, what does this produce? This produces result now null. I doubt it'll let me just use a what operator. Maybe it does, because anything can turn into null. Let me see if actually removed it. I think. Yeah, I think it did work. Okay, so yeah, that's the change that I made there. 1674.
Uh-huh.
578. Incompatible. If and else of incompatible types. So the two sides are the same thing. This should early return. Yeah, this should early return. 578.
So yeah. The
is weird, but I'm gonna look at 294 first. Okay, 294. It's saying you can't use the what operator because slot produces a different kind of error than Nock does. It's if
plot is result noun empty. One is
like it's this idea, but it's more like this else return. Sorry, else break error. Making up error codes. That description is actually correct, but it's also
should we not change the error type of slot instead?
so I mean slot doesn't produce like it can't produce like a blocked or something. It's never gonna produce something like that.
There's not, you can't produce a what?
Like so Nock error is that like an error code or that it's blocked or something, and slot just never produces.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That kind of error. It really only has one kind of error, and so it makes sense for it to produce just an error of null. You could do like an implicit create an implicit conversion from null to an error, but then you wouldn't be able to distinguish between different things that
Right.
null errors. So I think
Wait, so why shouldn't Slock produce a Nock error? Or a just error? Not Nock error, col error?
Because that, I mean, that suggests that it like that it makes the they call it, the signature weird, right? Because this signature feels right to me.
Yeah, I'll tab to see what you're saying. That's slot.
Yeah, sorry, this is slot, and it pretty like it it takes a noun and an axis and it produces either that noun or an error, and that error shouldn't be able to be like blocked, right? What it like because if that error could be blocked or something, then when you call slot, you'd be like, why do I have to match against a blocked case when I know slot can't block?
That makes sense. Can't we further restrict that it's either a noun or the thing that's wrapped there is specifically the error, knock error thing? Like it can't do a block. It can only do a knock error.
I don't think you can do that because knock error, like this is a type, this is not really a type.
You can do that in Scala. Let me see. Let me try it.
And you can do it in Hoon, but I don't. I know you can't do it in Haskell, and I thought you can't do it here, but I could be wrong.
Let's see. Let me just double check what the enum works. Noun error noun. So that okay, that does make it a little weird. Like, what would be the noun returned in the knock
Right.
error, call error?
Well, I mean, it could be, I guess, just like a description of
Or
one.
actually, wait, yeah, we did the D thing before. Yeah, so for now, let me make it D 5 like we had. So this would be then turn error, knock error, error D 5. Let's see if that works. Signature, only one colon. It seems to work.
Works. What's your
It's not
signature?
giving. It's not giving an error on that line.
What's your signature for slot then?
Oh, sorry. Or maybe it is. Oh, yeah. Never mind. It got moved up. The error got moved up. It says knock error, error noun is not a type.
Right, because it's just a case from it, and it doesn't.
So enums are not types.
Well, enums are, but not enum cases.
Right. Sorry. Enum values are not types.
Right. And I don't think there's a way to like factor that out separately either. I think the intended answer for something like that is to do these like implicit conversions or else just be explicit about it in something like this way. There might be
Maybe we should have it be not null, but then it still returns an error noun, and that noun gets forwarded.
I don't know if it's so much as an error noun and that.
Like unwrap the error
Possible,
around
but
the error noun, and then just wrap a knock error around it. Knock error, error around it.
I think it makes more sense for the interpreter to assign it a name or something because it knows more about it, right? It has a whole stack trace for it. It knows that we're doing slot in knock 9 and not slot in some other like in like knock 0, for example. And so it knows more information about it. From slot's perspective, all it really knows is we've like you I mean it has two cases, I guess, that is either 0 or that noun doesn't have the axis, but those are basically the same thing. It's that you give it an axis that is not that doesn't match that noun. It's possible that like if we were doing early return, then you could do well. Actually, there might be like a macro or something for like an unwrap or something that makes this easier.
I think in the interest of making progress. I think it's fine. I'm leaving a comment for myself to come back to this and think about it more though.
Yeah,
Like
it certainly is
what
kind of ugly, and there probably is a nicer way to do it. Or thinking.
I'm just thinking because since it's not cleanly like there's also another question to like why am I thinking this? Because slot is a public function, which then begs the question like should they be a public function? Because if it's a pure helper function, then yeah, it doesn't really matter. Interpreter is the ones using it. Whereas if it's a public function that actually should be a public function, then it should also have a meaningful error on its own or
Yeah, so
something.
I think it is a public function, but that to me is an argument that it shouldn't be using like something from the Nock error type, which is a very interpreter specific thing. Slot arguably shouldn't even be in the interpreter file. Probably should be in some like util, like noun utils file or something like that.
That
And
actually
so
makes a lot more sense. That yeah, that should be probably a noun.
the error type, or oh sorry, it should be in noun.rs. You mean?
Hey, are you there, Phil? I think I lost you.
Yes, I think I lost you for a few seconds. So were you meaning that slot
I've
should
lost.
be in noun.rs?
Phil, I think you've lost audio. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, it's on my end. For some reason, my Bluetooth just died.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1 second. It's really weird. All right, give me a sec. I'm gonna do a full reset here.
Cool.
Hey, say something, Phil.
Hey,
Hey, I'm back. Okay, sorry about that.
yeah, no problem.
Sorry, where did we leave off? Yeah, I think the
you
last thing I remember.
that that the slash probably be in like noun.rs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's the last thing I said, and then I lost you right after that.
Okay, yeah, that's probably correct. I mean, it doesn't exactly fit in noun, but it's arguably closer to that than interpreter. Like it's certainly not like a part of the interpreter. Yeah.
I mean, given that all of what a noun could be is in noun.rs, I think it makes sense because while slot only makes sense for cells, I mean everything else that has to do with cells is in noun.rs.
Yeah, it'd be pretty reasonable.
Okay, so then, sorry, this was because we were looking at the error. Where was this? Do you remember which line we were looking at? It was that the error we were getting back from slot was not the correct type of error. So we had to like
Yeah,
catch it and make an error for it. I believe it was Nock 9 compute result, right?
yeah. This is what I put there that seems to work.
Let me type the correct thing. So if access equals let OK slot, then we just return the noun. Otherwise, error, not error. Right. I am going to copy that, and then I think there's a. I need to relearn all the things I used to know for Scala with like the how you like map and fold and all that, but for all the result and boxes as well.
Yeah,
They're really nice, like map one error to another error or fetch the result.
right.
Like they have all these utility functions.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be a better utility function for this. It's very similar to like unwrap or, but not exactly that because we're doing with break instead of return, which it arguably everything inside the loop should be in a help. Like that the loop should be a helper function anyways, and then you would do it with return, or I don't know. There's a bunch of like ways
Right.
to maybe use
You can after the first pass come back and re-optimize it.
Yeah, sure.
If let OK. Can I see your screen just to keep in sync with you?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did. Oh, no, yeah.
Yes, you put okay. Let's see, equals, and then you put that there. I think you got rid of the, yeah, got rid of the question mark. So-
Yes.
And then you also, yeah, this was X, not X, else, break, and then error. And I think you gave it some other number, right? Like 55 or something.
55 is what I have here because I see the 5 there. And I'm like, no, 55.
And then this gets replaced with access. Okay, I think I'm on the same page now.
Great.
Ooh.
Okay. There was one more that I fixed. I forget what it was, but it was easy. So you'll fix it when you run into it. The one I was looking at is now is number 80. It's complaining that there's no preserve for. Oh, I think it's really simple. It's complaining that there's no preserve for, what did it call it? For Pam Mud ham to noun, but I think it's because I have too many Pams. Yeah, exactly. It's written that way down below because here it's let mud cache. Here it's a Pam mud, and so you don't need to Pam mud it again, I think, or maybe you need to mud, not Pam. Yeah, I think that.
I think it's just, yeah, I think it's just stack preserve cache.
Yeah. I think arguably this could be let mud ref, and then you wouldn't need to use Pam mud everywhere. But yeah, it's fine. There's like 8 errors left. 294. Oh, okay. I actually made a mistake in 294. What? That's what it seems to be saying. Yeah. And that's almost everything in interpreter. There's one more in interpreter, which is 678. Null because of this. So 6, 7, 8. Because it produces a null. Arguably it shouldn't, right? Arguably it should produce a Nock error because this is a Nock error thing. Probably true. We don't have to look at the hint or at the error. We only care that it failed. So okay, so we'll do. So this is where you can use, what is it, unwrap or? I think that's what it's called.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to mute myself for a moment.
It's not unwrap or it's something like it though.
Sorry, I'm back. I was working outside and the wind died and a bunch of flies showed up, which was really cool.
Yeah, happens. Do you remember
Which error are you working on right now? I fell away.
So 6, 7, 8. there's let
interpreter.
Nock res use interpret. I had a what here, but you can't use a what because match prehend produces a null error instead of a Nock error. And I'm trying to remember if there's a way to just like inline convert that to null. Well, actually, that one it makes some sense to just make the implicit conversion.
Sorry, walk me through it. I falling behind here. So, what is the error here? Let Nock res interpret. So this is producing the result noun or error, right? Nock error.
But match prehend produces noun or null.
Noun or null, right?
And so we don't have a way to convert Nock error to null. But that's probably actually the most convenient thing to do is so that we can go in this direction, for free in the future. Is just implement that conversion from Nock error to null.
So this means that what we did is if in test mode check the jet returns the same result as the wrong. So this is that we ran the actual we have the jet result and then we ran the actual Nock itself and got an error while running it. So the jet returned correctly, but we got an error from running the Nock formula itself, correct?
Yes.
So then we actually somehow want to return that error.
We want to return that an error happened so that it says basically, actually don't even worry about the hint, just run it like normal, do all your normal error handling. We're basically in match prehend, we're like, if anything looks weird about this, like we don't recognize the jet or even like, this was a memo cache lookup and we missed the cache. Whatever happens, if something starts to go wrong, just go back to the normal case and run it like normal. And so technically it's a little bit like, yeah, if you have an error here, then it'll run it twice, which is not ideal, but fine.
Right. Sorry, I just need to catch up. So we get Nock 11 compute hint. This is going to return the error, which means that we're going to hit the else statement on my end because I think the numbers are slightly off at 344. So it will then just actually try to compute the result, which will have it end up calling the formula anyway. Right. So it'll get called twice. So then for now, that's fine. Just need to convert the error to null and then later leave a comment that says, hey, this should probably reuse the error if possible.
Yeah, although I don't think it really matters because this is only in test mode. Like that's the only time
true.
that match prehend is gonna be running the interpreter.
I'm gonna add that to the comment as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then you wanted to write an actual conversion, an implicit conversion for Nock error to test, or sorry, to null.
Yeah, which I think is basically this, with the idea that
Simple from negative 4.
Yeah, that whatever not
Right.
there, you can convert it to null.
I think that's.
I don't know if the context is exactly right, but I copied a different one that I had, which I assume works fine, even implementing it for like the unit. So we'll see what it says. Yeah, it looks like it does. Or at least we got the 6 errors, which I think is better.
Let me get a version of this as well. And then it'd be easier. I tried to inverse. I copied the existing one from the jet code, but now I can flip it from whatever being a Nock error.
Yeah.
This should be. I copy pasted the non-deterministic error from the jet code and just rewrote it, flipped it around. So let's see if it compiles on my end. What is your line 690-ish for that error look like?
I just do the what.
You need to keep the what after that conversion, right?
Yeah. After that conversion, then that'll make the what work, basically.
Right, that was it. Yes. Okay, perfect. How many errors are you at?
6.
Okay, I'm at 11. So for now, we'll keep going together, and then I'll wrap these up.
Okay. Let's see. So I have 3 in jets, 1 in mem.
There's that one in, yeah.
2 in surf. The surf ones we're gonna want to think about them for a bit. Mem looks fast to just
Let's do the more thinky ones, because then we get to talk about those. I feel like because I'm trying to keep up on my screen and follow you driving, I keep falling a little behind. So I'd rather do the ones where we talk about them.
Okay, for this one, it's just a pointer. So the one in mem on 117 is that returns a const pointer. Let me look at that one there real quick. Oh, jet. The top level of jets also doesn't have newt and does not understand mink, which is weird. Let's see.
Not find making chats.
Yeah.
Right.
What is all important? Oh, also, okay, let me figure out what this mink thing is. So search did mink database. Because is there some other place that you need to? Oh yeah. Here, pub mod mink. So that they can switch it. Edit. And then that gives us actually like some actual errors and things from mink because that wasn't getting compiled before, right? Because it's not there.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to look at the same thing you were. How do we have it actually recognize mink? Like the one
At the very top of source jets, there's pubmod math. There needs to be pubmod mink to define the submodule, so that it'll actually.
right.
Yeah, I forgot.
Pubmod mink. Yeah, and then it goes up to get some warnings and such.
Yeah.
Right. Import. Yeah, a bunch of imports are missing. Yeah.
Right. So we need these. Here, but we also need to interpret. Closer. Let's see, unused jetter, create mug. Most of them now, except for now DT. So jetter. Most of it's now DT. That's like providers. and type jet error. It does need correct blocked because it's Nock error blocked, but Nock error comes from interpret. So we need to make this and then do that. This right, or so it's this. That should get us closer. Okay, just a few more. We don't need come to try from unused import jet error tar. Okay, so we don't need this. This. It's just the 3 errors. The one interpreter makes sense, and then there's the 2 insert. Okay, so the one interpreter is easy. Jet, we added an argument to the jets being new, and so we got to add that to the call stack. Jets, and just the 2 insert. Okay, how close are you to having just the 2 in surf?
I have 8 errors, so I think 6.
Okay.
And a bunch of warnings. Oh, unused. Yeah, those are. Can ignore those and get rid of them after. All in Mink, I think the ones you just cleaned up.
Okay.
How close are you? What do you?
So
how many errors do you have?
I have 2 errors now. Just the 2 insert that we need to think about a little bit. So we can start right on that, or we can get you to the same point first. Either way makes sense.
Let's see. Supplied. Oh, yes. So I can fix these. This one's simple. You're gonna look at them quickly.
If you like, say them out loud.
This one's simple.
Tell you what I did.
This one's simple. This is conversion error. No, they're all simple. I can fix them later. Okay, let's do the surf ones.
Here's just because it might clean up your output some. I can give you the.
That's right. We're gonna publish. Right. What did you say?
So I just pasted in the chat the imports that I use for the mink file because it will just.
Oh, thanks.
There's some
Sure.
stuff.
Let me copy those over. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll see your branch layer so I can compare against my thing. I think we have the same thing.
Yeah, or close enough. You look at the diff and find
a bunch of I just looked over them, and the 6 that aren't the 2 surf ones are trivial. Just need to go do them.
Okay. Then right. So in surf, we call interpret in 2 places.
Second, I'm just pasting these in. Okay. Yeah. So in surf.
Yeah. So we call interpret in 2 places. So we call it in play, which is where we're doing the so play is run some events. The first case is that we're running them in the initial like the first batch of events. So during the the initial life cycle, and then the other call is in slam, which is called also from play. But that's where we're running an event. Although slam is also called from work. Sorry, play is that we're playing a batch of events. Work is we're playing a single event. They both call it slam. Peak also called slam. And so what this means is, if we just want to get something running, which is a reasonable thing to do, then we just, panic if interpret fails. But the actual thing, of course, that should happen is that slam should should be producing a possible error, and we should be handling that different in each one, right? So this is where if interpret is actually producing a trace, then this is one place that like work, for example, could produce instead of just work done. I think we even have a definition for like work fail, for example, where we could say, actually, I'm going to give you the whole trace here after we printed it and so on. But if the failure has gone all the way to the top level, like this means we had a deterministic crash at the top level of the interpreter, or it filtered through to the top level or whatever. Then you just want to produce that. Do we want to? I think probably the right middle point on implementing this, but also having something that can run in hopefully a few minutes, is make Slam produce a result type, but we won't send stuff over nude or whatever. We'll just panic for now, or actually not even panic, just print it out or something.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Just for the sake of getting something concretely compiling done in this work session. All we really need to handle is the success case, and the failure case can, like you said, just panic or what have you.
Yeah. Do we even need to? We don't even really need to interpret, include the word not there. I don't think we'll complain if we do. Or wait, we do actually, because
I mean, if we just add an expect onto it, won't that just resolve it for now?
Yes. So I think we should do that, but probably outside of Slam, because then at least Slam will be correct.
Yes. So Slam should be a result.
Yes. So this is it expect or unwrap, or I forget what the difference is.
I think it's expect.
Let's see, what is expect? Assuming self value. Okay, so expect crash is. What's the difference between that and unwrap then?
Let's check.
Oh, expect lets you give a message. Okay, yeah, expect is better.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Right, and then we want get dot expect with something. What message are you putting in? I'm not looking at the screen right now.
I just said work error handling unimplemented, and then on the other one I'll play handling unimplemented. And then also peak.
I think I might have hit what you hit. Did you hit the thing about how Nock error can't be formatted because it doesn't have a debug implementation?
I have not got that far.
Okay, I just immediately ran it with expect. I think that's what you're about to hit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think its suggestion there of deriving debug should be correct for that.
Yeah. Should we derive debug?
Yeah, because we have a debug for now, and so
oh, we do have a debug for now. Oh, okay.
I think for sure. And so this will just do its automatic the enum aspect, and then it'll call the noun one for it, I think. Although we got 28 wins for me, so unused variable new. Oh, that's correct, but
We do have a debug for now, derived debug for now.
yeah. So that got me to a whole nother level of errors. I don't know. I guess the linker errors or something, or I don't know. But all the unused ones there, and also some unsafe. Okay. But it must be another pass of the compiler.
Wait, hold on. Oh, whoops. That's why. Put it on for the wrong thing. I didn't get to the errors you got to yet. It was I added the derived debug, but I added it to the wrong place. There. Sorry, you said that got you a whole new set of errors?
Yeah, yeah. They have to do
Serve?
with unsafe and one case of mutability that I'll look
Oh,
at unused variables.
okay. I think I'm unable to see those because I haven't cleared up the original ones that were cleared up for you.
But yeah, that. Oh, right.
A whole new level of errors.
It got rid of a lot of them, I think. Made a syntax error, and so it's like, oh, there's only one error. Okay. Try and mink is also down to do on that one. Cannot borrow res unnecessary unsafe block. And, all right. So interpreter. So that one is not unsafe. However, early exit, preserve and pop stuff. Both preserve and pop, I think, are unsafe. So we'll just wrap the whole thing. I think you can do it as this. Here's part of that is going to field day with all of this. Okay, now I think it's just the one error. Interpret 141. It doesn't like that. It doesn't like the mutability of res. Oh, because I reused the word res, which I shouldn't have. Or no, wait, it is the same, but also you can't. What was this line before? Auxiliary consistency diff.
141.
All right, so okay, so we assigned res to it. So I think it should be this.
As equals X preserved. Yeah, that looks correct.
I think it's correct. It's possible that you could do it another way.
That's all right.
I think this is correct.
We get it dirty live and then we fix it later.
Yep. Two more errors. No method as Adam for enum result in main. Okay, so we got all the way to main.rs. So that probably calls interpret and something about jam, which is probably also interpret.
Just a heads up that I'm fully watching your stream now. I've abandoned my branch since I never made it to the other level.
Okay, well, once this compiles, I can push, and then you'll have a version that compiles as well. Okay, so we call interpret here for to get result, and then we do a couple of things to the result, and that's where the error is coming from. So we can just say, instead. Oh. Okay, that compiles. These
Oh, yeah.
were the optimizationals. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Compiles. Try cargo test.
Close enough. Right. So Jet looks a little different now in RS. That should be fast fixed because we're actually calling some of these jets now. But they have a, they have a sample. One. Let me show you the other is 792. Oh, to be immutable reference to none, can you do, yeah. And then 792.
Hey.
All right. It'd be nice if we had enough tests that they would actually start failing now, but well, actually, we don't. Yeah, the tests that should show up now would be like run some knock that does fail and see if we recognize it as
Right.
fail. It's not
Right.
a bad idea to try that.
Because right now we have that the sham, all our tests are sham jets are correctly shamming, and that the PMA works independently and over multiple usages. We don't have any tests for anything actually using Aries as a surf or anything.
One thing one unit test that we probably should be putting right now to have at least something is just in Mink itself, similar to the math jets. Just have a test there that says like that runs something that works and runs something that doesn't work, and make sure that that we get those two.
Right. Just can we run like 42 and can we run like zap zap?
See what all of this we need, but okay, so we're gonna want the init function, and that's probably some of these should probably be acted out at some point, but there's a bunch of these that are, some of them are more specific than they should be, but a search chat is actually pretty close to what we want, right? Yeah, if we can get a search chat, then everything else is fine. For that, we need a search noun equal. And we're gonna need audience. We'll see if it references anything else. References this and this. Audience here is not equal. Okay. Then the way that a search jet gets used is you pass it a stack jet sam res. Okay. You definitely make those. And so an example would be right. So that's FN test mink success. Let's start jet s mink. That's something that should run. Mink takes it takes something structured like that. Right. Find these. So the knock part basically, and or like the part that's not the scry is out and say, yeah, it's kind of like this, except it's so the subject can be 0, the formula can be like 1, and then the constant can be like 55, or we use 55 elsewhere, but it doesn't matter. 53, and we should expect that to produce 53. And then the whole argument is but it's n and scribe, which should be an equal function, but for now we'll do that. Is this and then the result we expect is that it should be equal to that. I think that's correct. That runs. Takes part of 5 is supplied. Arg is not a thing. We don't have jet. And right, we got 053, need 53. Oh, right, it's 053 because that's what mink produced.
Right. 0 is that it was correct.
It is. So let res equals. You can see this could be definitely help the function if we're doing lots of different success cases or whatever. But this is fine. So. Okay, that was good. And then we'll try.
This one should be pretty easy. Just 0, 0, right?
Yeah, 0, 0. We really should have tests for all the different failures, right? Like
Right.
9 where the axis is not or whatever. But
right. But for just this proof of concept right now.
Yeah, then we should expect it to be 2 and something. I don't know what the code is, but this way we'll at least see.
I think it's right.
Oh, I didn't put I like writing tests that I know are going to fail because the test is wrong at first, because then at least if it succeeds, I know that I forgot to mark a test or something like that. Okay, so got 2, 1, need 253. So 2, 1 is probably presumably correct, but we can look in interpret and make sure that is actually the one it should be.
And I'll go check if that's actually the one. Yeah, Nock 0 axis incorrect.
Nock 0 axis incorrect. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so that's a 2, 1. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Then let me commit this to something, and maybe Rust format it real quick. Should I do a commit and then Rust format so that you can see the diff clear, or does it not matter?
I think you might as well do Rust format. I'm pretty good at figuring that out now. Or go just FMT.
Now then, that real quick. Make sure it looks. And paste. Yeah, but bugs these became too long. You got.
Yeah, this is all. I don't think format destroyed any of the information that was there. Like it didn't make it any more difficult to discern.
Yeah. Okay. Should I do this as a second commit, or is it just as fine to
Let's do this a
squash?
second commit.
Okay,
I
sure.
think let's squash them at the end for now. I think it's good to keep the history, which is almost the exact opposite of something I wrote as a PR review today for John. But this is different. This is because we're recording and to show
That's good.
the history of how we did things.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. You should be able to run that. I also just want to see if so the other test that I like to do, although it's actually a little further away than I thought it would be, but is run it with the actual king and like with the baby pill or the azimuth pill or something.
Right.
Which I actually just went through that with like that. I forget if actually you probably do know how to do that. I
Yeah,
done it,
yeah.
but yeah, I also went through that with John yesterday, and we recorded that, and he's also going to like write out that process a little bit, so that we, it's easier to remember how to do that.
I think
Um,
he's already written it up. I had it on my
Oh, is
to-do
it?
list for his PR and review it.
Oh, sorry. You said he has already written it up.
Yeah, he has an open PR for it.
Great. Yeah, yeah.
So just for the very sake of this, so I already fetched it once. Let me git pull upstream a new branch and see that this works. So it's Philip / work in progress. I'm going to pull it to Phil pair 2.
Yeah. Make sure I didn't mess up like the rename of virtual mink or something and lost the file or whatever.
And then I'm going to git check out Phil pair 2. And if I do that, let's see if this will work on mine as well. Cargo build works and cargo test. Cool, works on my machine as well.
Great. Great.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. So where does that leave us? We have a mink jet.
We have a mink jet, and now we need to try putting. We need to see what remains, like what the difference between mink in var and mink in Aries is, because the point why we started targeting mink was we wanted to format a raw stack trace into a actual, I believe it's a tang or
Yeah.
tang
So,
tang tank. Tank is a list of tang, right?
Tang is a list of tank.
Tang is a list of tanks. So we want it to be a tang, which is then what is returned by work bail, I believe, to the king, who then prints it. So that was the original goal, and that is where we're left. Alternatively, could save that for next time if it takes that long, but hopefully it wouldn't. And instead, where that leaves us is we need more tests for this code. And we should test that all of the cases get caught correctly. And I don't know, there's some probable small optimizations or what have you, replacing things with calls to expect or unwrap or what have you. Oh, that's another one. Actually getting like real error handling for this in main. Whereas right now we just panic in play and slam.
Which is almost, or yeah, real air handling in, you said in surf, right?
I think, is it surf? Oh yeah, it's surf. It's
where
surf.
we call
Yeah.
we call slam. Yeah. Where,
Right. It's not main. It's surf.
Send an error to the king. There's also thread stack traces through this. Through error. That makes sense. And then there's these to-dos, mainly interpret. So
Oh right. Yes.
handle scribe function, which that can be delayed for quite a while, or it could be done immediately.
Right.
Whatever makes most sense. I'd probably delay that one, but I don't know yet. Was there something else we just said, or something that comes to mind as an immediate thing that could be worked on?
I think this opens up a lot, because now we can also use this as kind of a bulwark from which to start at least seeing how much of Mule and all that is possible as well.
Yeah,
Which would
that's
start
true.
getting us really close towards actually being able to run a comet, like just boot a comet.
Yeah, the other virtualization jets are maybe not priority one, but they're also really fast, and so it's not a terrible idea to just implement them so you have these things. There's also like you could add mink to the to Cradle or something like that, so you start running this stuff like actually with Nock. Lots of different directions that could be gone. I think, is there anything else that is kind of walked out here? Yeah, the hardest one of these is probably threading the type traces through, but even that's not terrible. But it'll be a little bit like you have to be a little careful about like preserving them and whatnot through early exit. But yeah, shouldn't be bad. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording for now.
Cool.